Right, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you one really simple thing you can do to your lawn that's going to help you tackle two pretty annoying problems that you can have with your space during autumn and winter. And that's just using this, just a hard bristle brush to actually get out and brush your lawn. Now, I do know what that sounds like. It sounds a little bit mad, and your neighbours might think you've gone mental if you're out at the front of your house brushing your lawn. However, there's a couple of big benefits to doing this. Now, it was recommended to me last week to actually get on and do this process, because what you are doing first and foremost is knocking the dew off the plant. If I turn this camera around now so you can see this space, not sure how well it picks it up on camera, but it's got quite a glisten to it. And if I just brush it slightly with my hand now, I'm not sure if you can see there where the grass might have changed colour ever so slightly. Yeah, I can see on the camera. What that's doing is it's knocking all the moisture off the leaf, so that it's not sitting there holding on to the grass blade. And the reason why that's so important is the fact that disease thrives in a moist environment. Think about in the summer when we have loads of rainfall with those warm temperatures. Your lawn can get disease, it can start to spread. The same kettle of fish goes for the winter. Obviously, it's not as warm, it's much cooler in the autumn and the winter, but still, because there's that much moisture on the plant, and also with the problem of not having as much sunlight, or if you've got a space like I've got where these two lawns now get next to no sunlight at the moment, that's going to be the case now for the next few months. The dew doesn't have the opportunity to evaporate because obviously the sun isn't heating it up, so if you leave it, it will literally sit there all day when the sun's not out. So obviously a massive problem. So if the sun's not doing it, then we're going to have to get on with our brush and do it ourselves. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that your lawns are not going to get disease. It just means that there's less of a chance of actually taking hold. And the second reason why I'm brushing the lawn as well today is to deal with the same problem we were looking at in last week's video, which were worm casts. Now, for anyone who did watch that video, you'll know that I spent around about an hour actually taking all of the worm casts off this lawn and also the lawn up at the top, which obviously isn't the best method to use because of how time consuming it is. But also on this top lawn, I put an application of iron down, and as made the grass blades go a little bit darker. And you know, the whole point of the iron really is to dehydrate the plant, and again it takes moisture away from the actual leaf blade, and then that means that you're less likely to get disease along your space, just like what I'm saying there about knocking the dew off using a garden brush. But to actually, you know, prevent the worm casts coming through, a quick Google search is going to tell you that the iron makes the soil a little bit more acidic, which apparently the worms are not a massive fan of, and putting just one application down isn't going to solve that problem completely. But I am going to be getting on a regular basis, putting iron down on this space to support it through winter. So maybe we'll see if it does make a difference. But one application and 1 week later hasn't really made a dent in the amount of worm casts that we've had. And someone did say about putting the fence around to stop the worms. I do have a dog, so if I just let him come out when this is full of iron, he'll roll in it. It's not good for him, it'll get onto his coat, it's hard to wash off. So yeah, just prevents him from going absolutely mental. So yeah, they're the two reasons really why I'm getting on this lawn and actually giving it a brush every day. But as you're going to see now, there is actually a third benefit to brushing your lawn, and that you get absolutely boss defined stripes. Now you can see we've already got stripes on this space because I did get on yesterday and just give it a quick cut. I am letting the grass grow a little bit longer at the moment, trying to get it to around about 30 mil or so. So I'm not really getting on and giving it too many cuts, but I did get on and give it a quick one yesterday, hence why you can see a few stripes still knocking about, and there's a bit of wiggliness there. It's hard to keep the brush straight, but I've got to say, of all the mowers I've used, the outlet I've got in the garage, the little cool web thing I use, or even the hater, the brush gets the best stripes by a country mile. Just got to be mindful to keep them straight. I know stripes aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I think now that we're near kind of mid-November, to get stripes like this from a brush is pretty cool, I'd say. And how it's kind of dealing with the worm casts is it's basically as you're brushing across your space, it's obviously breaking them down, but then the advantage you've got as well is as you brush, it's brushing those little bits of soil back into the the lawn so that it's not just sitting on the top of the surface. So if you were to do this on a bit of a drier day compared to what I'm doing on today, and you were to go out and cut your lawn, what it's going to mean is, you know, you're less likely to squish all of those worm casts into the space. Now, stupidly, I walked across this lawn when I was doing that bit where I was talking to camera before, so I've kind of squished loads of them in the middle, but it isn't a massive problem. They'll brush out in the next couple of days. Again, a bit wiggly towards the back, but overall, not looking too bad. Now, your lawn striping up well isn't necessarily an indicator of how healthy your lawn is, because at the end of the day, you can stripe up pretty much any lawn, even ones that are riddled with weeds. When I've killed spaces off in the past using Roundup, I've had lines in the actual dead grass when I've been scalping it back. So it's not an indicator of health, but it definitely helps during months like this, like November, December, January, to have sort of a nice aesthetic, even though your lawn's in that state of struggle. And that really gets us on to sort of real autumn and winter lawn care. And it's just purely about survival. Anyone who's watched this channel in the past has known that the space that I've got, there's so many high walls around, it gets no sun during the late autumn and all through winter, which means most of the time this lawn completely dies back. So I'm doing everything I can at the moment to see if I can get this lawn surviving through to next spring. It's not going to be perfect. I do imagine we're going to get a fair bit of dieback across the entire lawn, but let's see how we get on. In my head, nothing can be worse than last year, but you know, anything's possible at the end of the day. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. I know not a lot of people are watching lawn care videos at the moment, with it being kind of really late into the season. It's kind of just like the hardcore bunch that are left who are trying to maintain the lawns through winter. And as I always say in these videos, I'm not an expert at any of this. I'm not a landscaper fella, I'm not a grass fella. The day-to-day job that I've got is the furthest thing from lawn care. So as always, these videos are just about helping the average Joe to get a half decent lawn. If you'd have showed me this lawn about 3 or 4 years ago when I started this YouTube channel, I'd have bitten your hand off to have it looking like this in the summer. If someone had told me they've had this kind of lawn in November, I never would have believed them. So it's not the best lawn in the world, but for me, I'm more than happy with the space that it is. And hopefully if you are following along with these videos, you've been able to pick up a few tips here and there along the way, and hopefully it's helped to some degree. So finally, thanks for watching today's video. Like I said, like it if you have enjoyed it. If you want to follow along and you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. There's going to be lots more lawn care stuff coming up in 2025, but also I've got a few videos left to actually prepare and film and post in the next few weeks as well before we get into December. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching.